Jim Bowman has agreed to come this morning and present to us his presentation on residential resale real estate. Jim is the district manager for Caldwell Banker Residential. He's had 30 years in Tucson real estate, 17 years with Caldwell Banker, and he's currently the manager of the Oro Valley Marana branch of Caldwell Banker. Jim?
Good morning, everybody. I'll keep this brief because a lot of you guys have a general knowledge of what's going on, which has been great for us. We've got some few challenges. This is going to be through March. We don't have April numbers yet because we just completed it. And so this comes from TARs, where we get all of our numbers from. You can see some great movement on the average sales price. This is back 2 years. So we've seen quite an increase all the way up to an average of $192,000. So we had a really low September in 2011, but we've been steadily climbing after that. So great numbers on that. This is a little better way to take and see how we're seeing it in Tucson, though, on the map. You can see kind of how that runs out there. Of course, Northwest is pretty active, and of course our luxury market in the north right there takes the lion's share of the average sales price. And I don't want to go too fast, but solds, you'll see pretty constant. In the last 2 years, we have 898, so we've added about 100 in that number over the last couple of years. Had a peak about a year ago, up to over 1,000, but pretty constant with now from where we've been over those last 2 years with some valleys in between. We've got some challenges coming up as far as inventory. Here's the solds as well. You'll see in the Northwest there, 336. Of course, that's where there's been our growth path over the last 10 years, and so we've just had a number of units, many more out that way. Marana, Rancho Vistoso, Gladden Farms, all of that kind of stuff is available out there, Continental Ranch. So just because of the landlocked nature of the Tucson Valley, of course you can see Northeast, and those is just limited area, and so limited things that are selling in there. Days on market, still doing very constant, going down a little bit right now. There's a little bit of misnomer in there because everything's kind of thrown into there. So high end is in there, luxury is in there. If you're down into the average sales prices that we're seeing right now, you're looking at 30 to 45 days. That's down into the 180s to the 250 range. So things are flying off the shelf. If it's decently priced and in decent shape, it's flying off the shelves. Pretty even across all of town. You don't see a big change anywhere. Northwest got 102 days, a little higher just because of the number of houses available. So a little longer there because there's some more choices. And you'll see South, same thing. So quite a bit down that way. Here's the problem, and the problem that we're seeing. Active inventory. You can see from almost 6,000 units 2 years ago, and now we're about half. And that's a real problem right now. Buyers are not a problem. The inventory is a problem. People that are upside down that have the choice not to take and put their house on the market are not putting their house on the market. If they can wait, they are waiting. Still a lot of stuff that is in either foreclosure process, short sales. We've still got that going on, although that is getting cleaned up rather rapidly. I saw a figure last week in the state of Arizona. For every 1% appreciation that we are coming out of the bottom, 10,000 houses in the state of Arizona are no longer a short sale. And so it doesn't take much movement to help things out. Active listings, this is through March. Again, you'll see Northwest has the lion's share of that just because of how it's all spread out up that direction. But when you think about how many buyers that we have in come town, active listings, that's pretty limited. We got 250 houses that are available up on the northeast side of town. I did have somebody ask a question. I heard him ask a question about rental trends, and we did see quite a peak a couple of years ago. 5 years ago, when the housing market was doing great, you could get a 12-month lease. They'd give you 2 months free and a free trip to San Diego. And of course, we've seen all of that go away the last few years. But in the last year or so, we've seen that level off. We haven't seen a whole lot of things, pricing in the rental market going up. But you can kind of see across the board there what's going on as far as that. 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms are in great demand now. Everybody wants to have a craft room, a home office, a guest room, and they only have 1 kid. And so great demand there. right now, we've gotten into, traditionally we never did rentals, and over the last couple of years because of the demand, we couldn't sell their houses, and so we had to start putting them up for lease. So lots of times right now, if we get something for lease, it's leased in the first couple of weeks. And that is pretty much what I brought you.
Hey Jim, those
Yes.
rentals, are those asking or is those actuals?
Those are actions. Those are actions, yeah. That's all. So, a couple of challenges that weren't on there that we are having, we still are having appraisal problems, appraisers use historical data. And so what happened 6 months ago is not the reality of what's happening today. So in my particular office, we run about 80 sales a month in my branch. We end up having probably 20% are having appraisal problems right now. And in sizes that you would not expect. And a lot of times it's in the 220 to 280 range. I'm done. And so anyway, so we're getting a lot of that that's happening as well. So they're just not going.
Jim, maybe you could ask others to comment on the sort of new product line in rentals, which is a house type product that's in a cluster, 12, 14.
We are seeing that right now, and that actually is very popular. I mean, we are seeing that sort of thing right now. What we're really looking at right now, it's going to keep beeping at me. What we really are seeing right now is we're really expecting quite a surge because we're where many sellers that had to do a short sale, they're at that 2 years now. 2 years in a day, we can get them a loan. So we're seeing inventory going down, the number of buyers that are coming back up, and so we're going to be having quite a crash there as far as it's really going to hurt us as far as that goes. So lack of inventory is really what we're hurting for.